So let's cover some additional strategies that you can use while you're in labor. And just to review, in this series, we have learned concrete tools for breath, position, visualization, what to do with your mind, and techniques of touch. So putting them together is going to give you everything you could possibly need in labor in terms of tools to manage contractions. These are just extra pieces to think about, because sprinkled in between doing techniques, there are other things that are giving a context to labor and that can either feel supportive or detractive of your experience. So one thing to remember is ask for what you need. Okay, mama, sometimes women are not good at this in general, where we can be really good at anticipating other people's needs and then feel guilty asking for what we need. You are doing so much work when you're in labor, even if all it looks like is you're just laying there breathing, right? Your body is going through an amazing unfolding and transformation. This is a rite of passage into motherhood. It's so exciting, and it takes all of your focus and energy. So if there's something that's going to make you more comfortable, please ask for it. Ask for water, ask for blankets, and then a minute later, when you're too hot, ask for the blankets to be taken off. Your body is having a symphony of hormones go off. And so your needs are going to be changing constantly. And so being willing to constantly ask if you think something's going to be helpful to you, change positions, you know, really moment to moment shifting is going to be helpful. One of the things that I have, and I am happy to email it to you, my email is in the notes. So feel free to send me an email and ask me for the Birth Partner Quick Guide. This is almost like a menu of things that you and your birth partner need to make sure you know about, so that you can say, I would like to be leaned over a birth ball, meaning I need a birth ball, doing my balloon breath, meaning if you see me stop doing the breath during contractions, remind me of it, with a head to toe visualization, and a feather touch massage, please, right? So like, these are all the techniques laid out so that you can know what they are, or so that if you're in a place of not knowing what to ask for, your birth partner can make suggestions and neither of you have to remember what they are. There is a list of them right there for you. So that's a beautiful thing. Another thing for the birth partner to think about in terms of an additional strategy is remind mom she's having a baby. I know that can sound strange. How could she possibly forget? But we can get so focused on each contraction that we just forget that this discomfort isn't going to last forever and that I'm not going to be doing this forever. If in the midst of it, your birth partner says to you, you're doing such a great job, you're going to be holding your baby in your arms in no time. It's like, oh yeah, baby. So that can bring just a breath of fresh air into a mom who's just working really hard. It's such good news. You're bringing great news. So another is affirmations. So this can come from the birth partner. Just like I just said, you're doing such a good job, right? Affirmations, I'm going to read a few. Like this is like the opposite of a negative suggestion, right? So you're just like sprinkling in magical, positive fairy dust. Notice that your body feels completely relaxed and at peace, right? Mom may not be feeling that in that moment, but that's a beautiful suggestion to add. Let your mind and your body drift away, right? These are just little things that you can say. These are not like a 10-minute long hypnosis visualization, which we've talked about. That's also really helpful, but these are different. You're amazing, I love you, right? In between contractions, let your body rest. Every muscle in your body is resting and at ease. Even during a contraction, you can say those things. Soften your jaw, soften your shoulders, soften your breath, right? Just little suggestions. Allow your body to meet each contraction with relaxation. Feel your body filling with endorphins and becoming more peaceful and comfortable. Turn your birthing over to your body. I'm with you. We're working together. Open your body from within. Breathe love down to your baby. With each surge, give your body permission to get huge. You're doing such a great job. You know, these are just like medicine for the soul in labor. So if anyone wants this list, I'm happy to send it to you. Also, my email is in the notes. So another thing, music. Having music, background music can be beautiful and a beautiful addition to labor that just is continuous, right? And the only reason to turn it off is if it doesn't feel good to mom. I did have a laboring mom listen to the Grease soundtrack while she was in labor, which I would not have recommended. That doesn't sound relaxing to me, but she said it was awesome. It's her favorite movie. So she had a movie playing in her head. She could sing along to the songs. So she was, right? That's breathing and making sound. And she loves those songs. So it made her feel happy and relaxed. She was able to move with them too. So be creative in what you want to bring to your birth. You can have the recordings, right? The practice recordings, the head to toe relaxation, the vacation visualization, rainbow chakra meditation, sacred birthing circle, even the fear release. These are things that you can listen to in labor. So have them available to you. One thing I just mentioned briefly, but sound. Oming, groaning, moaning sounds are best. And here's why. One, there are two reasons. One is that nobody breaks their arm and ohms, right? When you're injured or ill, you scream potentially. So we are biologically wired to react with fear when somebody's screaming. So you don't want to scare the people around you. On the one hand, who cares what they are experiencing? On the other hand, you have to deal with them. So to ohm and moan and groan, nobody's going to think you're injured, right? They're going to know that you are just doing your best to open and let your baby out. And like I told my boys when they were at my daughter's birth, you know, mamas sometimes need to make a lot of noise to get a baby out. And for me, it felt like being quiet was like shaking up a carbonated beverage and leaving the cap on. It felt like so much pressure. And making sound was like, psh, releasing the pressure. Other mamas, quiet is relaxing to them. So listen to your body, do what feels right, but give yourself permission to make a lot of sound if it feels good to you. And then the other thing about making those om sounds, the groaning, the moaning, the lower pitch sounds, is that you can feel your body can open with that, right? Your top down breath, when you're pushing, you want to keep your perineum huge. And when you scream, you know, you can feel the tension. So that's something to keep in mind. Relaxing can really help. So in addition to sound, movement can be incredibly helpful. Moving your hips back and forth, being on your knees, moving back and forth, dancing, swaying, anything that moves your body, moving position to position to position. So it's part of why being medicated is less than ideal, is because you'll restrict your movement. So water is also your friend. Movement and water go together. You can move so easily in a birth tub, and you're being assisted by gravity. So water in any form, water to drink, ice to chew on, a washcloth on your head, being in a shower, ideally having a birth tub available to you, whether you're able to birth in it or not. A bathtub, like water and labor just go so well together, and just help your body. It helps your body open up and relax so beautifully. Another thing is avoiding, if at all possible, knowing what time it is. Take the clock out of the room. Make sure nobody's telling you how many hours you've been in labor. Avoiding counting how many contractions, how long the contractions are, how strong the contractions are. Just all numbers, keep them to yourself. You are accidentally going to start doing math if you're being given numbers, even how long a contraction is. So keep all of that information. If your caregiver needs to know some of that, your birth partner can tell it to them without you having to hear it and deal with all of that if possible, because your mind can start tripping into the future and into worry, right? I remember asking my husband what time it was when I was in labor with my first baby, because I was trying to figure out how much time I had left before my stepdaughter's birthday. She had told me she did not want to share her birthday. And I was sure it was way earlier in the day than it was. And I remember being a little surprised by it. You know, luckily by that time I was really far along. But if I had been 6 centimeters and I had been told that that many hours had passed, I may have been more deflated, right? But labor doesn't always follow a timeline, right? Just because you've been in labor for 6 hours and you're 3 centimeters dilated doesn't mean it's going to be another 6 till you're 6 centimeters. Doesn't mean it's going to be another 6 till you're, right? Labor doesn't go like that. And depending on how relaxed we are, our cervix can snap open and it can also snap shut if we're scared. So let's just remember that avoiding that analytical brain and also avoiding fear, as we've talked about before, can be just super helpful. So there is a quick birth story I want to share before we finish this section, which is that there was a mama who learned the Birthing Through Hypnosis techniques, and she was in labor and she was 6 centimeters dilated, and her caregiver told her that she thought she should give her a little bit of Pitocin. And the woman remembered the question to ask her caregiver, the $1 million question, the question for all questions in labor: what would happen if we waited 30 minutes? And her caregiver shrugged her shoulders and left, meaning this is not a medical emergency. So 45 minutes later, when her caregiver came back, she was listening to her favorite audio track. In the span of those 45 minutes, she was listening to her favorite audio track. She told her husband, like, all your job is when that vacation visualization ends, you start it again, right? That's your only job. And at one point he just kind of dozed off a little bit and missed it. And she's like yelling his name and come on, you know? So anyway, she was able to get back to a state of relaxation. So she was laying there when her caregiver came back in 45 minutes later, completely and utterly melted from having listened to it over and over and over again. And when her caregiver checked her, she was completely dilated. So, woohoo! It's a beautiful thing to remember that, you know, it's not always a linear path, and we can invite in opening and a deeper sense of relaxation at any point, and it can help us. So these are just, you know, a few extra things to sprinkle into your wisdom and knowledge that you're carrying with you into labor.